Hey YouTube, in today's video we're going to be going over the best settings in Modern Warfare 2 that you should be running to have a better advantage over everybody else. I spent some time going through some of these settings just to tweak here and there, just to get a better advantage graphically and audio, of course, and your controller settings. Some of these you may have to tweak to your own liking, of course, and it's going to depend on if you're on console or PC. Alright, so to kick this off, I do play on a controller, a SCUF controller to be exact. So I do not play flipped or anything like that, but I do play stick and move. So you can go through those, whatever you're used to playing on, or if you want to change it up. What's cool about this game is you can set this to custom and then go through and customize each button what you want it to be, which is pretty cool. You can also customize your stick layout if you wish. I like the default. Controller vibration, definitely have off. To me, it interrupts it, and it's just unneeded. My stick sensitivity, I've always played on high 7 most of my COD career, if you want to call it a career. But I've always played on high 7. I used to play around a 10 or 11, but for the most part, I've always stuck on 7. I do have my ADS sensitivity multiplier at 0.75 for those medium to close ranges. So for automatic sprint, I do have automatic tac sprint. Now, you can put it on automatic sprint if you don't want it to constantly automatically tac sprinting, because those close range battles, it could, could be a con. Equipment behavior, I have on hold. Weapon mount activation, I like it on ADS plus melee. For my reload behavior, I do have it on prioritized reload, just because I don't want to be trying to pick something up but need to reload, so I always want to prioritize reload first. Armor plate behavior, apply all, of course. So in our advanced tab, we have target aim assist on, of course. Aim assist type, you do want this on default. Aim response curve type, you definitely, this is important. You want this on dynamic. A lot of people play on standard. I don't really know of anybody that plays on linear, but dynamic is what I've always used, and honestly, you can feel the difference, and this is what all the pros use too. So my focus ADS sensitivity multiplier, I have it at 0.90. My ADS sensitivity transition timing is instant. Custom sensitivity per zoom is on, and then I have all these. They gradually go up as the range gets longer. So for the low zoom, 0.80, 2 to 3, 0.80, 4 to 5, 0.84, and then it goes up there to 0.88 for 6 to 7. Anything after that, I just left at a 1. All right, so for your dead zone, this is going to be different. This is going to be different for everybody. I have a pretty new SCUF controller, so I've just moved it down to a 0.05 for my stick drift, because I really don't have any stick drift. And then your left trigger and right trigger, I think it's a default 0.13. You want this all the way down so there's no input delay at all, or the least amount. All right, so auto move forward, off. Tac sprint behavior, double tap. Grounded mantle, I have that turned off. That's just when you're like trying to jump through windows, jump over obstacles, things like that. Automatic airborne mantle, partial. Automatic ground mantle, off. Invert slide and dive behavior, just left that on standard. Plunging underwater movement. Parachute auto deploy, I've never had auto deploy turned on because I like to get as close to the ground as possible before pulling my chute. Sprinting door bash is on, so I can run through doors and it have that cool effect of bashing through it. ADS stick swap off. Backpack alternate control off. My weapon mount exit delay, I left that at short. My weapon mount exit delay, I switched that to short from long, that it comes as default. Depleted ammo weapon switch, I have that turned off. Quick C4 detonation, you gotta have that turned on, right? Vehicle camera recenter, short delay. Camera initial position is on free look, and then the rest of these, you don't really need to mess with any of that. All right, so next is our graphics. So display mode, like I said before, you always want to be on full screen exclusive. You don't really want to go borderless. All right, so this is going to be whatever your TV or monitor that you're playing on. I am playing on a 27-inch Asus ROG Strix 1440p 270 hertz monitor, so that's what that is. I am also playing on a RTX 3080 Ti. Screen refresh rate, I just put that at the max of whatever your monitor or TV can handle. And then right here, 1440p. Dynamic resolution, I have that turned off. Aspect ratio, automatic. These two, VSync gameplay and menus, you want that turned off. All right, so for custom frame rate limit, I leave that at custom, so I can leave that at maxed out at 270. And then in the menus, you really don't need a whole lot of frames in there, so I usually leave that at like 80 to 100, and then everything else left at 30. My quality presets, they're all customized. This right at 100 is going to be your native resolution. So if you play on 1080p, you put this at 100, it'll be 1080p. So you definitely want that at 100. For upscaling and sharpening, I use Fidelity CAS. I know some people do like to use DLSS, but for me, I think this looks the best. And for my PC setup, this is going to depend on your setup, of course. I like Fidelity CAS, and my rig can handle it. For anti-aliasing, I like it at SMAA T2X. You can put it on Filmic SMAA, but I like the T2X better. Quality, I have it at ultra quality. Video memory scale, I set this down to 85. Texture resolution, I can keep that on high because my PC can handle that and still get a good amount of frames. Texture filter, normal. Nearby level of detail, high. Distant level of detail, high. Long. Particle quality, I left on high. And quality level for particles, high. Bullet impact and sprays, I like to leave those on. I like to see the bullets. Air quality, I put that down to medium. Tessellation, near. Terrain memory, max. On-demand texture streaming, I kept that turned on, and then you can set this to whatever your rig can handle or whatever you want it to be. Streaming quality, low. Volumetric quality, high. Deferred physics quality, high. Water caustics, on. Shadow map resolution, I just keep that at normal. Don't really, as long as I can see the shadows, I don't really need them to be amazing detail or anything like that. Screen space shadows on high. Spot shadow quality, high. Spot cache, ultra. Particle lighting, normal. Ambient occlusion, I leave on both. Alright, so for your screen space reflections, I turn that off because if I'm looking through a window or something like that, I don't want a really good detail so I can see through that window better. So I recommend turning that on off just so you can have a better visual experience. And then the static reflection quality, turn that on low, of course. For the weather grid volumes, I left that on ultra. NVIDIA Reflex low latency, this is going to depend on your PC. I just have it on. I do not need it on plus boost. Depth of field, world motion blur, and weapon motion blur, you want those all off. So this depth of field, I have it off because if you're ADSing, anything outside of the focus is gonna, be blurred out. With it off, it does not have that effect, so you can see outside of what you're focusing on. World motion blur, you can see what it looks like right here on and off. When you're moving around with your weapon, it's going to depend on if it blurs or not. Off is always better in my opinion. Same thing with the weapon motion blur, the exact same. Film grain, you want that all the way down at 0. The higher you put this, the more grainy the image looks. Alright, so field of view, 110 for multiplayer, 120 for Warzone. ADS field of view, you definitely want this on affected. There's no other option. Weapon field of view, wide, just because I want the widest angle that I possibly can. Third person field of view, I just left that on 80. And then vehicle field of view, wide. You want that as wide as possible so you can see your surroundings better while driving vehicles. So these first two, I put at least 50% for the first person camera movement and the third person camera movement. That way there's a lot less movement and camera shake. All right, so for the audio, with my Astro A40s, with the mix amp that I do have tuned pretty well for Warzone, I found home theater to be the best for my headset. Now this could be different for you, of course, so keep that in mind. My master volume, like I said earlier, 90. Music volume, I do not need to hear any of the music. It has no benefits in multiplayer, so I turn that down to 0. Dialogue down to 80 because I still want to hear if someone's saying something and they're on the other side of the wall. I still want to be able to hear them. The effects volume, I left that at 100, and then hit marker volume, turn that down a little bit because I don't want those being too loud. You can mess around with the subtitles if you want. I left everything at the default because I really don't need to mess with any of that. Alright, so for the telemetry, I have the FPS on, the server latency, the packet loss, and my GPU temp. And for the packet loss, you definitely want that one on if it's available for you. That way there you can know if it's a server issue or something on your end with your internet or something like that. And of course, latency, so you know if there's any latency in that match. And then also FPS, of course, so you know how much FPS you're getting. This is something I saw someone else do, so I went in and was messing around with it with a couple different things, and not a lot of people really think about doing this, but the color customization, it's going to make enemies a lot easier to spot, and it really makes everything really pop in the game as well, so you can mess around with this. I like to personally keep it on filter 2. I found that to be the best. Now it is going to change some of the colors of enemies and your teammates by a little bit. You can see the difference right there with no filters and then filter 2, and it doesn't really seem to mess with your FPS at all, so I think it's a win-win. So that is the best settings and graphic settings that you should be running in Modern Warfare 2. You can tweak these as you see fit or whatever works best and looks best for you and your setup, of course. If this video helped you out at all, make sure you let me know by dropping a like on it. That'd be greatly appreciated. Comment down below if you are enjoying Modern Warfare 2. I know I'm having a blast so far, minus the bugs and crashes, but they'll get all that straightened out in the coming days. We do live stream here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So come on by one of the streams if you want to say hello. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 500 subs, everybody. I appreciate everybody's support. We are growing. This is going to be our year for this title. I feel it. So I appreciate everybody, of course. You have no idea. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great day, night, or morning. See you guys.